on camera because I'm in the bed right now and I'm relaxing in the dark. So you're going to be hearing my voice. If you don't like this video, please, you don't have to like or subscribe, but please like and subscribe if you could, because I've been wanting to do a video like this for a while, ever since Donald Trump was the president in 2016. And when he, got impeached and then he was kicked out of office. Now he's back in office. There's a lot of things going on in this country that's making me think really, really hard to see if I can probably go to Africa. Now, my cousin, he's in the military. He's in the army. He was about to live in Africa because they have this thing that you can go live in Africa because of your family's roots. My family has roots from Africa, from the slave trade. So my cousin was going to go there and live there for absolutely for free. They were going to give him money. They were going to give him housing and everything the hell else. I guess he was going to live somewhere near a beach, but I guess he changed his mind. But I don't know if that he might have changed his mind again and might leave to go to Africa. I hope he do because this country, this country is not what this country used to be. What's going on in this country, from the helicopter and the plane incident to the plane that crashed in Philly. And the funny thing about it is that I used to live right around a corner on a street called uh, Hellerman Street, and there's another street called Tyson, and it's Cotman Avenue. That's where the plane crashed, right around where this little Roosevelt Mall. I used to go there all the time with my daughter. I used to live around there with my daughter mother, and I heard it crash to New York Northeast. I'm like, wow. And I watched the video of this plane crash. First, I thought it was a missile that hit, you know, um, the ground. But if you really look at it, you could tell it's a plane. But the funny thing about it is it was two pieces. It wasn't just one. And um, we're starting to get to a point that this country, I just don't understand why we don't understand what's going to really happen probably if the Republican Party stays in office. We're going to be slaves again. And I represent this to my black people, but if my black people want to listen, which they're hard headed as hell, the only people thinking that white people can always change. And I'm not saying all white people are bad. Please don't get me wrong. I know I made my last videos and made it feel like white people are bad. They're not. My daughter mother's half white. My daughter mom's is Italian and Irish. But the thing is, it's not the same as, you know, the way, white people are brainwashed on things that are going on in this country. And they're starting to do the same things, blaming immigrants, blaming diverse people, and just don't know, what's between right and wrong because they have a man that is so evil. And I keep telling people that this man, before he became president in 2016, is the same man that you elected in 2025. He's nothing different because I used to watch Donald Trump when I was young, and Donald Trump was a very, very narcissistic man. He was very evil, very disrespectful. He didn't care nothing about you, me, immigrants, women. He spoke his mind, but what does that have to do with being a president? A president doesn't speak his mind. The president listens. The president is supposed to be the Speaker of the House. The president is supposed to be the one that opens up the door for many other countries to be our allies in trade and many other things. He's taken away that. Now he's taking away things from his own people. He's trying to take away welfare. He's trying to take away disability. He's trying to take away a lot of stuff from us. And I don't understand why people don't see it. Why are we blind? Like, You got Christians that want to believe that he loves God, which he doesn't even care nothing about a God. He's a rich entrepreneur. He's worth nearly $1 billion. This man was selling goods online while he was about to be prosecuted to go to jail, and people love him because he's a former, he was about to go to jail. People love. I don't understand how people love people that, you know, are going to have to spend their time in jail. But the crazy thing is that when you're starting to look at this country and the way this country is falling apart, and this is way before Trump got in office, so this country was falling apart during Biden. I don't care what anybody say. Presidents don't fix countries. The people that live in this country fix the country. The government is supposed to be we're supposed to be their employer. We're not supposed to be letting them tell us what to do, but we do. And then we vote for these presidents and we want them to save our lives like Jesus Christ. This is what the problem is. You give these motherfuckers power. You shouldn't be giving these men power or women power over a country, which you see a lot of other countries. They actually fight their leaders so they can keep power. It can be balanced power. The United States don't have any balanced power because we're going to be becoming a country that's going to actually be enslaved again. And I tell black people all the time, just because they're getting rid of immigrants, that don't mean they might not come after us next. Because we've got to remember, Donald Trump don't like diverse people. He doesn't like us. He blamed black people for the damn crash. No, my fault. He blamed diverse people for the crash of the plane and the helicopter. And he also, I believe that he's going to start blaming diverse people or something stupid for the plane crash that happened in fucking Philadelphia. Because this is what he does. He doesn't care about the American country that's falling apart. There's only at least about 400 million people in this country. There's not a lot of people in this country. There's other countries that have more people in their country than we do. And they know, the rich know is that many people. So a country like this, see, they're not going to have war with other countries to make us have a nuclear war because they can't conquer a country that's in ashes. They got to make sure the people are brainwashed. They got to make sure the people actually submit to their, cult or whatever. This is what we're doing. We're submitting to their people. Donald Trump is not even a leader. He doesn't know what it means to be a leader because he's a rich entrepreneur. He has other people that are around him. We don't even know who the hell they are. Only people that we know is Elon Musk. And we know what's going on with Elon Musk. He's crazy. Then people want to say, well, look at Joe Biden. Yes, look at Joe Biden. Joe Biden's old as hell. Yes, he used to be a former racist. Yes, we had Kamala Harris that locked up a lot of black people for no fucking apparent reason. But we had Bill Clinton, we had Bill Clinton do the same thing. We had Hillary Clinton in the three-strike rule. It's like you're never going to change the presidencies the way the presidencies work. The presidency is always going to be the same. They're not going to change just because you get a new president in office. Oh, we voted for this president. They're going to change for us. It's not going to happen like that. This country was actually invaded and taken by the people that were already here. And then they brought people here to work in free slave labor. That was African people, our ancestors. But the thing is, the Mexicans were here also. This country was actually theirs. They owned Texas and California, New Mexico, Arizona. But they took that from them just because they couldn't purchase it. Then they took Mexico, told them that if you want Mexico back, you got to give us Texas and California. That's what the Mexicans did. They gave Texas and California, New Mexico to America because they wanted their actual freedom. And people forgot about Canada. Canada was part of the United States also. But the thing is, they got their freedom. But see, but Donald Trump think he should rule every single country like an iron fist, but he won't mess with Russia like that. He won't mess with China like that. He won't mess with Korea like that. He barely wants to mess with Mexico because he knows who's down there that he can't mess with, because he is afraid of people. People thinking that he's this tough guy. He's not a tough guy. This guy is the guy that sits there and hides behind money and hides behind rich people. Like, we want him to be this big muscle president. The man is like 70 something years old. The man is fat. He wears a diaper and many other things that's going on mentally, physically, and emotionally with him. He has been almost charged with so many different types of crimes, 34 crimes, and this man still be elected the president. He's the first president in human history to ever be elected when he has convictions behind him. And actually, they took the convictions off because he could never be charged as a president. He's very lucky because he committed treason. And committing treason actually is you be put to death by firing squad. That's the thing. They don't tell you that. They don't tell you that he was actually going to be put to death by firing squad for treason or what he did to the freaking Capitol building. And he let thousands of people out. He pardoned thousands of people that did this thing for the freaking Capitol building, and then he's going to say that they were, oh my God, there were hostages. I'm sitting up there looking at this man like, are you absolutely? Do people actually believe this shit? People are actually dumb to actually believe this man. He's a pathological liar. He lies about everything. He even lies about his day. He'll lie to you and say a fly is not sitting on his forehead, but he can see the fly. That's how much of a pathological liar he is. He's been doing this all his life, ever since he was young. And now he's older and everybody knows he's a senior citizen. He probably might have the same problems as Biden had. He might have dementia and he might have some other mental problems. But nobody ever knows if this man's ever going to have mental problems because everybody believes everything that he says. Because people are looking for a Messiah. People are looking for God or Jesus to save them. And they believe Donald Trump is this God, this Jesus, this Messiah. He's not. He's a regular man that's in office, which he should not be the president of the United States. But Harris was never going to be elected because she's a woman. And Biden was never going to be reelected because he's sick. Obama couldn't run again. He couldn't because, number one, he already did his 2 terms. He only could do 2 terms when you're running because after Roosevelt had his 3 terms, presidents only can have 2 terms. But the fucked up thing about it is that Donald Trump is not going to let go of what people did to him in 2020. You forgot what happened to him when he got kicked out of office. He promised that he's going to get revenge on everybody that did things to him when he was impeached. He blamed the American people for impeaching him. He blamed the American people for his views and everything going down. He's doing what he said he was going to do when he got impeached and when he got kicked out of office. Now people reelected him, which I really believe that, he wasn't reelected by the people. He was reelected by money. And he wasn't because of fucking Putin, because Putin had nothing to do with the election. It had something to do with money. And Elon Musk is a multi-billionaire. And like I said, money talks. So you could buy votes. Matter of fact, you could buy elections because it's been going on for a very long time in presidencies that people bought elections with money by rich entrepreneurs or men that were railroad owners or somebody that just wanted a president in office that they felt that could help them make more money. This is what the rich do. Rich people got Donald Trump in office. The regular public did not. People thinking, they'll show you regular people that probably voted for Donald Trump, but they know the rich really got him in office because a lot of people were not going to, even people that were on Donald, even people that looked at Donald Trump as what he was in 2016, he wasn't the same president that they knew that he was going to be in 2025. So that's the reason why they didn't vote for him. There was a lot of money put into these elections, and that's what it is. And they know that your motherfucking boy named Elon Musk had a lot to do with it. Now, Elon Musk probably can't say nothing because he probably wrote a contract or something that he can't say nothing or something's going to happen to him, because honestly, he committed treason too. And when you commit treason, you could be put to death. And I don't understand why that Donald Trump wasn't put to, I'm not saying why was he put to that, but those type of other people that have committed treason like he did wouldn't be alive right now. And he knew that he can get away with it once he become president. That's why he was never afraid to become president. And it hurts because people knew this man did some outrageous shit. And people still love him for the things that he did was so crazy because they love the way he carries himself. How does a man carry himself when he wears a diaper? How does a man carry himself that wears a toupee? How does a man that carries himself wears makeup? He has a wife that does not care nothing about him. He has kids that are weird. And his other youngest child really doesn't care about nothing about his father. His sons is weird. His sons just got in trouble for something not that long ago, but he got away with it. But he blamed Biden for pardoning his son. But they know that his sons were doing some crazy shit. Donald Trump was actually doing other stuff with women, disrespecting women, calling women out their names, doing a lot of dirt to women, and caught on tape saying these things about women. But people still voted for him. I don't understand what was so great about having a man that's going to tear this country apart, not by tearing diversity up. He's going to have one race go against the other, just like many other people did in the past when they had Jim Crow and many other types of things that kept blacks away from whites and had Puerto Ricans and many other cultures like the Jews and Italians away from the white people. And then they started creating these new things that make white people actually start getting involved with black people. This is the reason why black people are involved with white people, because they wanted black people not to make money on their own. So this is the reason why they did it. Also did it to Jews. See, the Jews were smart. The Jews just kept it to themselves and slide over to the side and say, "Hey, you're not gonna stop us from making money together." Black people just say, "You know what? We're just gonna give up all our rights to the white man, and we're not gonna make no money at all. All we're gonna do is just be working for minimum wage, we're gonna be working for money that we can't even afford, taking care of our homes, our children. We can't afford nothing, but we're gonna have to start begging the white man to help us, and that's what we're doing." And that's why I believe we're going to go back to slavery again. Because it's easy to enslave black people because we're the most weakest out of the fucking diverse people. Look how weak we are. We're supposed to be the strongest out of the most diverse people, but we're the weakest. We're sitting here fighting back and forth about a president, fighting against the Puerto Ricans, fighting against the other cultures because they didn't vote for Harris. What? And then we're making jokes about the immigrants because they're getting shipped out the country, knowing immigrants make 90% of the money in this country, and blacks don't make money in this country at all for any of this country because we are barely having jobs. We don't have education. We don't have none of that shit. We don't have no education. We're not even graduating high school and college. We are so down on the bottom of the food chain. You talk about white people being down on the bottom of the food chain, and white people are supposed to be the most poorest people out of the fucking blacks. But we're catching up with the whites of being poor because we just depend on them giving us money, but we don't depend on taking care of ourselves as what every other culture has been doing for over, I say, millions of years. Us black people used to take care of each other. Us black people always depended on each other. We always made money together. We always protected each other. You see what we did during the civil rights movement. You see us doing all these things during slavery to protect our people from the dangers of the white man. This is the reason why they didn't want to give us guns. This is the reason why they didn't want us in the military. Because they knew, they were afraid that we were actually going to get guns and start killing every fucking white man because what they had done to us. To this very day, they don't want us with guns. This is the reason why they put guns in our neighborhood so we can kill ourselves. But see, it was easy for them to make us kill ourselves than for them to kill us, because we always think our enemy is right next door to us, even though the enemy is probably a mile away from us and live in the suburbs. But this is us as who we are. We're never going to change. Why would we change? We always say we're going to change every New Year. Oh, black people are going to get together. They don't even have a black history for us anymore. They took that away. Even though I don't care nothing about black history in the first place, because black history, that's not real black history that we should be learning. We should be learning real black history for black people, not just being in America, looking at people that are celebrities and athletes and people that try to help us through slavery and shit. That's not fucking black history. Black history is us starting off as kings and queens and working our way over here to slaves. But we don't know where to start from over there in Africa because black people don't like Africans and Africans don't like black people. Jamaicans don't like black people don't like Jamaicans. Black people don't like Haitians don't like black people. This is the people that are our own culture and we don't like them. But you have other people, and I'm not saying every single culture likes their culture because you got Asians that don't like certain Asians because of their darker skin color or their lighter skin color. You got the Indians that don't like certain Indians because of certain different diverse things about them. But one thing about us black people, we should be more like the Spanish or more like the Mexicans. Number one, the Mexicans is our actually part of our ancestry tree. The Native Americans are part of our ancestry tree. I can go on and on and on. We were in Africa. Africa was not diverse until the white man walked in there and started taking everything from us. Really, honestly, not the white man. I go by the Arabs first. Then the white man came in and started conquering, bringing military into the freaking woodwork to try to kill off all the Africans because Africans were using spears and shields. So they will bring the French and the Irish down there into Africa and they will kill most of the Africans because Africans didn't have any guns. So think about that. Even the Native Americans didn't know nothing about a gun. They didn't even know anything about horses, pigs, cows, rats. They didn't know nothing about these things. But the white man brought it to them. They brought them all types of diseases. They brought them all types of things over here. They did it to the Africans too when they gave them smallpox and many other things. Because after they came from over there in England, when England was going through all that terrible stuff over there, the Black Plague and the Black Death, they started bringing that shit to many, many countries that they conquered. Now, we're going through the same problem. We went through the pandemic. We just went through a pandemic that they created a virus so we can get sick and see how many people they can kill. That's what they wanted to do. They wanted to see how many people they can kill. They killed enough. Now everybody forgot about the pandemic, or they're trying to not make you forget about the pandemic because they try to talk about it every year, but they'll try to make you forget about influenza, even though influenza killed more people than the fucking COVID ever killed anybody. Even the Black Death killed more people than COVID. Even you can even go back to fucking SARS and many other diseases like Ebola that killed a lot more people than COVID. But you know they don't talk about that because they can't talk about that. They want to keep you in fear of things. This is how you control the masses, dog. If you see people getting out of line and starting to see people getting together, you got to destroy that. You got to make it a war or you got to make it a pandemic. You cannot see people getting together, teaming up with each other and fighting with each other. You got to separate people. That's what the pandemic did. It separated people. It separated families. It separated friends because it had to. You can't make people. The government started seeing everybody being at peace. Started to team up with each other, do things with each other. Start to make money with each other. This is before the internet exploded. This is before everybody was making money off the internet. This is before TikTok. This is before the new Twitter. This is before all that shit. Everybody was looking at everything like they supposed. They had a new president that was a dickhead, which people really did not like at the time. So they needed to make the country started getting together because guess who fucked it up that made him try to divide the country? His name was fucking Donald H. Trump. So once Trump started fucking up the country, they had to make the country back to where it was of people started getting together, started, protesting, started wanting to get Trump out of office. You know that they did not like that shit. They said, "Oh, we can't have this. We gotta do, Mission 55. We gotta make sure that these people, no, how dare you? How dare the Democrats keep the Republican people, us Republicans? It's not our fault. Let's release the pandemic." This is what they do with war. This is what they do to their own people, man. They've been doing this ever since the Philadelphia Project a long time ago. Ever since they had all these pandemics, they had HIV, all these different drugs and shit that comes into this country, and knowing that this country never seen a goddamn thing until it was brought out of the country. But honestly, these different types of creations of viruses can be created in your own backyard, but they'll tell you it's from somewhere else because they can't let you believe that something can happen here because there's no such thing as terrorism in your own country. You got to blame it on people outside of your country. You have to. You can't say, "Oh, well, Michael is a terrorist." No, that's not. You can't blame that on Michael. Michael's not no terrorist because he's not Arab. He's not. He's not. He's not. He's not from other countries. They'll call him a terrorist, even though he just took half the buildings down off the block. Yeah, but it doesn't mean anything. But that's the way it goes, man. This country has been built on so many lies, man. Ever since before slavery. Slavery is old, but the Native Americans were here. They wanted to know why they came here and took their country from them, and then they had the nerve to say they were savages. They had the nerve to say the Native Americans were up here killing them for no reason, knowing that you're not going to let nobody come into your house and sit on your couch for free. You're going to wonder why the fuck is this nigga in your crib taking your shit. You're going to pull your gun out on him and tell him to get the fuck out your house. That's what the Native Americans did when the Europeans first came to the island. They saw all these white motherfuckers getting off that boat. The first thing they did was attack them. See, but the Europeans got scared, got back on their boats, went back across the sea, because some of the Europeans ran off into America at the time because they didn't know where the fuck they were going. Some of the Native Americans chased them. Some of the Native Americans helped the Europeans escape from the ones that were actually trying to kill them. But they went back to their country, got some soldiers to come back over here, and guess what they were doing to the Native Americans? They were killing them. Went into their fucking went to where their huts and shit and burnt them the fuck down. Snatched and kidnapped their kids. Did all they can because they were so pissed that the Native Americans attacked them because they wasn't prepared for somebody to come and attack them. It's like, how dare you attack us? How dare you come and fight us? We are superior over you. We brought God with us. We brought the cross with us. And we brought rats, we brought pigs, we brought cows, we brought mice, we brought all these things over here so we could have y'all all die through all these different type of viruses and shit. Because the Native Americans never even had a virus over here. There was no such thing as viruses over here. That's the crazy part. This country was a country. I had nothing wrong with this country because it was called Turtle Island at one point until the Europeans came over here and thought they could just take whatever they wanted to take, like they did in Africa. And then when they came over here, or not just they did in Africa, they did in Jamaica, and they did in Barbados, and they did in Puerto Rico. They did in South America too. These are the things that they have done, and they're not going to stop doing it because when they conquer countries to take everything they fucking can of every single resource, and then they're going to blame the people that already live there as their fault while their resources are gone. They'll take oil. They'll take coal. They'll take children. They don't care, and they'll tell you that, hey, okay, well, it's terrorists over there, so we had to bomb all this land. We had to kill like 300 people that were living on this land because we thought there were terrorists over there, but there wasn't really terrorists over there, so they can go over there and get some oil. This is what they do. This is what America has been doing. This is why I believe that leaving this country is a good idea because it's going to get to a point that you can't even talk about the country anymore. You won't be able to. They feel that how dare you disrespect the kings that are in rule right now. And I always tell people, even the people that are rich are leaving the country because they're starting to see what's going on. And these motherfuckers can probably don't have to leave. They probably don't have to pay no taxes or anything. But the thing about it is they're leaving because they're starting to see the country fall apart like Rome. It's going to get to the point that you're going to start seeing yellow buses driving up to people's homes and taking them and putting them on these yellow buses and driving them off and taking them to motherfucking mountains somewhere or taking them to concentration camps and throwing them in these concentration camps like they did during the pandemic. Because all they do is to create another pandemic and start snatching up people and say, well, it's because of the pandemic and throw us blacks or any culture. It's just not to be the immigrants because immigrants are really not honestly what they really fear. They fear blacks. They fear black people more than they fear immigrants. See, they don't want immigrants making any money. They want to get rid of immigrants because they want the rich to make all the money for the people that are already here that are American. They believe that the Americans should be the slaves. You can't enslave immigrants because immigrants are going to fight. American people are not going to fight. So you enslave the people that are already here because all you have to do is make a lie like Hitler did. Hitler made up a lie and said, listen, I could change Germany into Rome and all the people that live here is going to be part of that. But what did he do? He built an army so massive that he invaded his own fucking country with the motherfucking military that he built. And he put most of his people that was German, he starved them to death or he put them in concentration camps. If they did not follow didn't follow him. And this is the same thing what black people are going through. Black people are going through the same issue here in this country. If you're not following the code of conduct of a man that looks like a fucking puppet, he's going to put you away. And black people think it's all about the immigrants, it's all about the Puerto Ricans, it's all about the Mexicans, it's all about Chinese, all the people that are not like us because we were slaves. That doesn't work like that. Because, like I said before, Hitler was up there signing fucking treaties to say he will never attack anybody's fucking country. And that motherfucker a few days later will come in and invade your country like he did Poland. And he did all these other countries like France and Paris and Russia. He invaded by signing these motherfucking fake ass treaties like Americans did when they signed a fake ass treaty with the Native Americans. And the Native Americans were finding out they were signing sick, thick ass treaties. And next thing you know, every time the Native Americans would think they were signing a peace treaty, a motherfucking America will fucking take shit from them or lock them the fuck up or kill them or take them to the trials of tears and send them somewhere the fuck else. They don't tell you about that in school. They don't tell you about that in school when they used to snatch up Native Americans, like your boy Abraham Lincoln, and everybody think he's the best man on the planet. That motherfucker rounded up nearly like 300 or 400 Native Americans in Florida because they wouldn't leave Florida, and he had them all hung. Let's go on to your boy named George Washington. George Washington was huge on motherfucking slaves, dog. He hated blacks. He had that many. So I think he had like at least about I said about at least about 30 slaves. His wife had more slaves than him, but he had like 30 slaves. But as he gotten older, he had more slaves. I think he had over nearly 200, 300 slaves. Thomas Jefferson. These are the motherfuckers that we love. That's on the currency. Benjamin Franklin. This motherfucker loved old ass women. He loved, and he had slaves. But everybody say he tried to help. So he didn't try to help no slaves. Stop believing that these white men in that time, during their power and their reign, actually helped black slaves. They did not. They actually abused more African slaves as more Africans was coming to America until they stopped bringing Africans to America in 1808. When they stopped, because America was never going to stop bringing slaves into the United States, because other parts of the world stopped slavery buying. America was the last almost country to do it, to stop bringing slaves to this country. This is how dirty this country has been. This flag that has so much dirt on it and blood on it. People don't believe that it has so much blood on it. Everybody knows that, Star Spangled Banner was written by a freaking motherfucker that was racist. The merit, whatever you want to call it, the pledge allegiance to the flag has nothing to do with Africa. Nothing to have to do with black people. When they sing the motherfucking national anthem, it has nothing to do with black people. That's why a lot of black people kneel. Because it has nothing to do with black people. None of these things that's been written, even the Declaration of Independence and even the Constitution. Yes, you have a little bit for black people, the 14th Amendment, maybe a couple of other things that's in the Constitution for black people, but you got to understand they can erase that. And that little pieces of paper, that's a little bit of writing that they have for black people. Take that, because you already see Donald Trump is trying to take everything from us through the civil rights, you know, through civil rights, right? He's trying to take everything from black people through civil rights. So he can just rip the fuck up, and black people will go back to having cops be able to do anything they fucking want. And it's just like how the South was. You talk about black people talk about how bad the South, how bad black cops are keep treating them. I said, did you know you black people don't know nothing about cops actually treating blacks bad? Because you know why? They never lived in the South. And if you did live in the South and you dealt with cops in the South, you should know how bad cops are down there than it is anywhere across the country, because they never ever dealt with what the cops used to do with blacks in the South or even in the Midwest. They never, even in the East Coast, blacks and cops did not really actually get along with each other. Everybody wanted to know why blacks wanted to be cops. Everybody wanted to know why blacks wanted to be firemen. Everybody wanted to know why blacks wanted to be in the military. Why we wanted to dress just like the white man. Like we wanted to wear the suits, we wanted to wear the hats, we wanted to smoke cigarettes. The black woman was dressing just like the white woman. They were wearing the dresses, they were wearing the stockings and the shoes and the hair, just like the white women. If you put them both together, you put the black man and the white black woman and the white man and the black man and the white woman together in a picture, they're both dressed the same. Because black people did not have their own identity. And to this day, black people don't have their own identity. That's why we follow the Bible. Because we need an identity to follow. So we took their identity. We took their Messiah, their God, and made it our own. This is the reason why we fight when we say Jesus and God is black. Knowing black people never prayed to a black God or a white God, a black God or a black Jesus. We always prayed to a white Jesus and a black God. And this is long before black people became into slavery, because when blacks were enslaved by the Arabs, they were praying to a light-skinned God, Muhammad. Then black people started praying to the Christian God, which the Christian God was white, because blacks that actually came out of England and also Britain and Spain, they brought the white God into Africa, and they started building churches in Africa. And also the Europeans told blacks to build churches in Africa too, because when the Europeans invaded Africa, they came into Africa and brought the cross with them. They brought the Messiah with them. And they told them, you need to build a church. And that's what the Africans did. They done what they were told. This is before they actually were put in slave chains by the Europeans, because the Europeans had to soften them up some. They had to bring in a Messiah to say, you give your land to God. And Africans, they actually did that. They started giving their land to God, because the Europeans came down and told them this. Yes, your God, our God is your God, even though they didn't know who the fucking God was. Africans didn't know who God was. They didn't have no religious beliefs in anything except the religion that they already believed in for probably millions of years. But these people come out of nowhere on horses, bring all this junk with them, with this freaking fake ass Jesus on a cross, and they'll say, "Well, this. We want to talk to you about." Even though they brought a translator, and the translator even really didn't speak really good African, so the translator was trying to tell them about this God that they brought down into Africa, into their kingdom. And the guy, and this African was like, "Who are you?" They never seen a white man in their fucking life, but they always say that Africa was diverse. No, because Africans will say that they never seen a white man until they brought that motherfucking Jesus into their fucking kingdom. That's when they started seeing a white man, because they never seen a white man before. They've seen the Arabs, but the Arabs were not white. They were light skinned. That's why the Arabs were actually light skin and dark skin in between, because most of the Arabs were African, or they were black, or they were just dark skinned colored people. So they were got confused with probably Africans or whatever color that had in Africa at the time, because it wasn't just lighter skin or darker skin too. Fair skin, my fault. But you got these white motherfuckers that's coming from over the ocean, that came out of fucking Spain, not Spain, they came from motherfucking England, or France or Ireland, and they walking into your kingdom, and you never seen these motherfuckers before, but they're telling you, or they're making up these fake magic tricks, like how they used to do back when, when Moses came in with the staff, and he threw it on the floor and it turned into a snake, and the other two priests grabbed their two sticks, they threw it on the ground, and they created snakes because it was magic. They did probably the same thing to them. They probably made some shit to make it look like God created. They threw something on the ground and they made it look like it was magic. And they were like, oh my God, look at that, look at this, look at this." They say, "Oh my God," like, "Oh, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this." And the Africans were just so shocked that they seeing this, and they say, "Yes, this is from God. This is God right here," and they actually believed them. You gotta understand, this is the power of lying. Like, this lying been going on to conquer countries, and you use some powerful entity that they can't see, but you can make them fear. And once they are afraid of this entity that they never seen before, but they only thing he only has is a name, because number one, God doesn't have a name in the first place, because he even says that I am him. That's it. He didn't say that he has a name. God is a Greek name, but we use the name like we always use names from different, different places of the world, because everybody know that Greeks has used more of the words that we use today over here in America, like love, devil, God, Satan, Lucifer. They're all Greek names. But people will believe anything. Like I said, when you give people something, and make them believe something that's not true, they're going to actually start believing the lie is true. Like Hitler always said that. He said how he made his people believe him. Everything he said, you just keep on saying lies. You keep on telling lies, like Trump. Trump lies all the time, every day, all day. People will believe the lie is true. If you constantly say the same thing over and over again, the same lie over and over again, people are going to actually believe the lie is actually true. Hitler did it. Trump is doing it. And not just him, as many other ones like Mussolini, Stalin, our presidents of the United States, not just Trump, many other presidents of the United States have lied to the people. Many people around the world that are actual leaders lied to their people. They made their people believe that they're going to save them, and then they imprison them. Even the Romans did that. The Greeks did that. They lie to their people, and next thing you know, they're in prison or they starve them to death. Or they force them to fight in wars that they didn't want to fight in, or they'll use God to make them believe God is going to, you know, kill them if they did not follow God's laws. But that always been like that. This is the same thing. That's why I'm saying, like, I don't know what to believe anymore. I don't know what to believe in this country anymore. This country has been falling apart at the seams. It's not even about Trump. It's all about just going on through years and years of lies. Like, when are they? Okay, we can't make money to survive. Your people is starving. You're raising food prices. You're getting rid of people that help food prices stay the way it is. Then you get the people to believe that the people that are not your enemy, you make them seem like they are your enemy. Blacks think everybody's their fucking. We all think everybody's our enemy, but the only enemy is the ones that we really don't say that's our true enemy, but we'll help fight their enemy. And everybody know what I'm talking about because this is what we do. We'll blame everybody else but the people that actually enslaved us. We won't blame them. We won't fight them. We'll go to war for them. We'll fight their enemies. This is what we do. We've been fighting the white man's enemies for many, many millennials. And we're going to continuously do it because we feel like being American is something special than being in any other country around the world, which other countries have freedom too. It's just like countries live just like us. Our country ain't all glitz and glamour, and we're not rich country. We are a rich country, but we're not showing our riches like every other country doesn't show their riches. We're just a country that works hard, but we don't work hard because we're getting rid of because we're going to start working hard once we get rid of once they get all rid of all the immigrants, all these motherfuckers that talk all this shit about the immigrants taking all the jobs. Well, you're going to be working them jobs that the immigrants have been taken away from because Donald Trump is going to make sure that happens. So all the people be talking about, oh my God, all the immigrants taking the jobs, all the black people are taking the jobs. Well, all the immigrants that were working in farms, doing the stuff that we would not fucking do, we're going to be doing it because Donald Trump is going to be like, okay, I'm gonna sign an executive order. So all the people out there that say that, you know, immigrants is taking everybody's job, y'all are going to be taking them jobs that the immigrants were working. So y'all better be getting up like 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning to go out there to them farms and pick them motherfucking cherries, motherfucking grapes and strawberries off the damn trees. You better be feeding them cows. You better be going out there putting all that fucking seeds in the grounds. That's what he's going to do. I keep telling people that for a long time. Donald Trump is already trying his best to make this country become the country like they were back in the fucking past. He wants everything to be do by everything made by America. That's what he wants. He doesn't. It's not all about him trying to make this country into a white country. He's trying to make this country into the country that used to make money. When they had factories, when they had railroads, when they had all these things that this country was making billions and billions of dollars. Now this country's not making the same amount of money that it did before, and this country's becoming broke. Donald Trump sees it. Now Donald Trump is trying to say, you know what, since all this so much lazy Americans, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get all the immigrants. I'm gonna pack them up, get them the fuck out, and all y'all motherfucking Americans that say that immigrants are taking all the jobs. Okay, here you go. Y'all gonna take your ass off the internet because he's trying to get everybody off the fucking internet. That's the reason why he was trying to take TikTok away. He's gonna take everybody off the fucking internet, and he's gonna make everybody fucking work. He's gonna make people work from probably early in the morning until sunset. That's what he wants because he wants everybody to start. He don't want retirement to end until 80. So all these people sitting up here bitching and complaining about the immigrants, saying the immigrants need to go and all that. Okay, y'all gonna be sitting up there working them same jobs the immigrants gonna be working. I'll be sitting up, getting up early in the motherfucking morning, and it ain't gonna be about age either, cause you gonna get the motherfucker old as shit to be working out there too, cause he's gonna try to take disability from us. He's gonna try to take everything to force people to work. That's why he's trying to cut off the world in trade. Why do you think he's trying to put up some tariffs? He's trying to cut off trade. This motherfucker wants everything to be in the United States. That's all he wants. He don't want nothing to come in or out of the United States. He wants us to make our own food. He wants us to make our own clothes. He wants to make our own electronics. He wants to make everything on our own. He don't want no help outside of this country. That's why I believe this motherfucker one day is going to build a border wall around this fucking country. And it's not going to have, you don't have nobody coming into this country. Like they did fucking Rome. When they built a big ass border wall around Rome, they're going to do the same thing to the United States. And all these motherfuckers bitching and complaining, even the younger generation is complaining and don't know nothing about politics. And everybody that sit there and thinking they know about politics, which people really fucking don't, y'all going to be seeing what real politics is all about once this motherfucker gets deep into his motherfucking regime. That motherfucker's going to be he's going to be pointing fingers at not just black people. He's going to be pointing fingers at white people too. White people thinking, oh, he's going to make America great by changing this country better. Trump doesn't give a fuck about making this country all white again. He knows he can't make this country all white again. He knows that he can make people work. He know he can probably try to make some money. That's all he care about is money, 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 money. He doesn't give a fuck about anything the fuck else. And then he's looking at the people that live in this country and knowing that the people that live in this country is lazy as shit. And he's telling the truth. He's not lying. This country is a lazy ass country because all we do is care about, all we care about is social media. All we care about is, we can't make money is not what we used to make when we used to work with our hands. And we used to work with our hands really good. But now we don't work with our hands no more because we're sitting by the computer all day long dancing and playing video games. Trump is not gonna want that shit no more. That motherfucker might ban video games too. He might ban video games. He might ban a lot of shit. He might ban TikTok. He might ban Twitter. He might ban social media. Period. This nigga, y'all don't understand how crazy this motherfucker is, dog. The things that go through his motherfucking head, that motherfucker try to sign an executive order for it. You know what I'm gonna do today? I'm gonna ban video games. Let me write this shit down. This is an executive order that kids, even adults, can't play video games. He might ban porn. He might, well, I don't think he's gonna do that. But I think he'll just ban shit that just be banning it. Because he's gonna get people to work. That's what he wants. He wants this country to be like in the 1900s when they started bringing motherfucking factories over here. He wants that shit to happen the same way. He doesn't want this country to be sitting on their asses while China and many other countries making all this motherfucking trillions, and this country don't have no money. And that's why I say I'm not a fan. I hate Donald Trump to death. But the thing is, you know where he's coming from because that's the reason why they reelected him. Because it's not just the country that reelected him, it's the rich motherfuckers that reelected him. Because the rich are the ones that are losing money. And they know that if they see the immigrants making money and the American people are not making money and we're begging for money, that means that you get rid of the problem. They feel like it's a problem. So Americans can get money. And honestly, we're not going to make that much money because we don't have a minimum wage. And he's taking every single thing that will make us work a lot better, like, healthcare and all that other kind of stuff, and good insurance and shit, which he's trying to take the fuck away. You know what I mean? It's going to be hard for us to be, trying to make a living. But he doesn't care. He's going to take everything, dog. Everything. And we're going to be sitting up there, like, picking cotton and shit again. Working on plantations and shit like that again. Yes, master. Yes, master. Right away, master. Yes, master. Make sure you get your coffee, master. Make sure you get your paper, master. That's what it's going to be, man. I'm telling people to leave now. Go somewhere far away to another continent. If you got to live in Iceland, Greenland, you got to live in Antarctica, it's somewhere to be away from here. Because this country is not going to be the country you think it is. It's going to be in the year 2030. The 2030 is not that far away. It's 5 more years. And this country is going to be changed. And plus, the year 2030, the Republicans are going to still be in office. So, if y'all want to stay here and sit back, relax, and thinking everything's going to change because of this regime, it's not. It's going to get worse. It's going to get so bad, yo. It's going to get so bad. It didn't even have to do with something happens to Donald Trump. It don't even have to happen because they're still going to be in power. And you want to sit there and complain about Democrat, Republican. Number one, Democrats and Republicans shouldn't be anything. We should be actually together trying to defend ourselves against these powerful people that are Democrats and Republicans that are rich. While we're sitting up there fighting with each other, saying Democrats and Republicans this, and I hate Republicans and I hate Democrats, but they don't like you neither. Democrats and Republicans don't like you. What are you talking about? Those rich motherfuckers don't give a fuck about you, Democrat or Republican. They don't care. All they care about is your vote. All they care about is you putting their motherfuckers in their seats and putting their people as the president or vice president. They don't give a fuck about you. Republicans don't care. Democrats don't care. They sit there and they will look at you and laugh at you. Like, these motherfuckers really think we care about them. Like, ha 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 ha. Yeah, another thing coming, man. Motherfuckers will have you sitting up there behind them prison motherfucking You know, behind them concentration camps, wires and shit. You know, while they're sitting up there forcing you to work without no pay, free slave labor, while the immigrants be up there going back to their land, but they're gonna be fucking laughing at us because we're gonna be doing their fucking job, and we're gonna be bitching about why do we have to do their job? Because didn't you say they were taking all your jobs? Now you're doing their jobs. Now why the fuck are you complaining? First you talking about they're taking all the jobs, they're taking all the money, they're getting everything for free, which motherfucking immigrants don't pay for shit. I mean, immigrants, my fault. Immigrants do pay for shit. They pay a lot of money, you know, being here, you know. But the thing about it is the United States people don't know that because they don't tell them. But they try to keep it on a hush hush because they don't want they don't want see for now they're not keeping it hush hush. They're telling people how much immigrants have to pay to be here. But when the American people found out about it, they be fucking, oh my god, for real? I didn't know that because your dumbass motherfucking asshole don't know anything about politics or don't know anything about what's going on in this country. Y'all just believe what somebody else fucking tells you. You believe CNN, Fox News, you believe all these motherfucking local news that tell you all this bullshit. I mean, they tell you a fire's happening, but the fire is no real fire coming. It's no real fire. But you'll believe it. Oh my god, there's a fire. Motherfucker, there's no fire. They just told you a lie. I mean, they even show you that there's no fire, but you still believe there's a fire. Because people believe anything. Like, we're so caught up in believing everything that everybody says. This is the reason why that we're going to end up. I mean, shit, it's crazy, yo. It's crazy. And they're doing everything they can to keep us busy of not seeing what's really going on. What's really going on in front of us. And seeing how they're actually just tearing us apart as a country. And we're both the people that live in this country. We're blame. And that's why everybody sitting up there out in other countries laughing at us because they be like, yo, why y'all keep blaming each other for shit? Like y'all don't even blame your own government for the shit they be doing to y'all. Y'all sitting up there blaming Republicans and Democrats, but you're not blaming the government or blaming the president or blaming them for the shit that's going on around here. But y'all two fighting each other and of a name that you have no power over just because you put in a voting slip. Now and you wear a little button that says I voted. That shit be funny as shit when I be seeing them vote the little buttons on their shirt saying they voted. I'll be up there laughing. I was like, you went outside. Oh, because my ancestors. Well, did they tell you that your ancestors were actually murdered to try to vote? Did they tell you that your ancestors were forced to vote, or they wasn't going to be free? Did they tell you that Abraham Lincoln freed slaves to order to have them vote for him because his own people wouldn't vote for him because after the war he did so much shit during the war they were not going to re-elect him as president of the United States, so he had to get blacks to elect him as president. So that's how blacks got into voting. But really not blacks, only men could vote because women couldn't vote. So as voting gotten through the years, only men can vote. So black men, were just told who to vote for because they only had to vote for white men. They didn't vote for anybody black. I mean, not one black man during that time voted for any black people because there was not any blacks running for president. So they had to vote for a white man. Like I said before, black people didn't know what the fuck they were doing. They just were happy to vote because they thought it was part of their being a citizen. Number one, they didn't give a fuck that you voted, and they didn't give a damn that you were a citizen. And honestly, you wasn't considered a citizen. I just keep it raw because they know that citizenship wasn't really supposed to be given to black people. They were going to give it to every other culture but blacks. Because why the fuck would they give us freedom for? I mean, we're slaves. Like, why would they want us here? But they needed us to build this country because the white man wasn't going to actually step up and build this country themselves. So they had to use the immigrants and also the blacks to build the country. So we were stuck here. So the only thing about it, we was been treated like shit. And we allowed them to treat us like shit because we wanted to be here and be free and be with our slave masters. Got to give it to you raw, man. This is the way it is, and black people are going to say, "How dare you say that? That's not true." I was like, "Are you crazy? Are you crazy?" So our ancestors went through all this shit to elect a president to actually get killed for electing a white man. I mean, you know that they had to actually ask the military to protect them for not having a mob of white people come into their voting booths and try to kill them. They didn't tell you that. Even when women started voting, they started going after the women. And not just black women, they were going after white women too, because they didn't want women to vote. So we're going to white women's booths too and try to get rid of them out and try to keep them from voting. People say, well, that should no, it shouldn't be anything. Black people shouldn't be voting at all. We shouldn't. It has nothing to do with being a right. Because number one, that right wasn't given to us. It was actually forced on us. It was forced on our ancestors. Because if we didn't vote, we wouldn't be free right now. That's the reason why we had to go to war. I mean, he told you got to vote. Like that's the order to be a citizen of the country. You had to vote. So Africans wanted to be citizens so bad, so they're like, okay, I'm gonna vote. But they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. Vote for this guy. Who's he? Lincoln. Who's Lincoln? That's that white man right there. That's like over 6'6". He's real skinny. And he looks like he's dirty as shit. The guy over there, the one who looks like a fucking crackhead. Oh, that guy that looks black, but he's not black. That motherfucker's white. All right. Stop thinking Lincoln's black. Lincoln is not black. He's a fucking white man. He was dirty as shit. And people know he was because he was out there with the motherfuckers during the war, standing there while they were shooting and shit. This motherfucker was standing there getting shot at. You know what I mean? He didn't give a fuck. But, us black people, we like people like that. So we like people that, oh, they gotta be so tough and it's so bad. Fuck out of here. But like I said before, leaving this country is a good thing, man. Because it's time for us black people to move on. We gotta move on, man. We gotta find something different. We gotta put our heads down and say, let's go. Let's get out. Let's go where we feel like they won't have to. We won't have to be bothered anymore. I mean, we have our own freedom. We have our own. We have our own government. We have our own everything. Like we don't have to worry about nobody bothering us. Even though they'll probably come over there and try to bother us anyway, because this is what they do anyway. They'll try to steal our resources and do everything like that, or probably invade. So we'll probably have to fight. But this is the way it is, man. We should have been gone off this continent, dog. We should have been gone after slavery. We should have like, you know what? Let's go back to Madagascar. But we didn't, and we could have fixed Africa. We could have fixed Africa if we would have went back, but we didn't. Millions of motherfucking blacks on this fucking continent went back to Africa and fixed Africa, and it could have been ours, but we didn't want to do that. We wanted to stay here on a country that's not even fucking ours. That was taken from somebody that was already here. It's crazy. Damn it. Good night, everybody, and bless you.